Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Crafting with Bee. And give me just a minute. I don't quite have everything set up the way that I want it set up. So I'm trying to go to my channel so that I can actually see what's going on because I don't have two cameras today. So let's see if I can get this going. Okay, so now I can see everybody on the screen. I'm going to turn my phone down so it doesn't squeal. And so that I can see y'all. Hi, Margie. Hi, Beth. How are y'all doing? She's doing a little better, but she is out of the hospital. In fact, I think they sent her home way too soon. But she is doing a little better. They actually, sorry about that. It's kind of dark in here. I don't have my setup in here because it's been way too cold in here. Let me turn that back on, which I haven't been working on this painting much. I've been working on my other one. But yeah, she spent 3 days in ICU and then they moved her to a regular room. And then within 24 hours, they went ahead and sent her home, which she was still just as confused. In my opinion, they should have kept her longer, but they didn't. It's sometimes I keep hitting that light. It keeps turning off my light pad. Try to turn it back on. Okay, maybe I can keep from hitting that light pad. Good morning, Granny. How are you? So, yeah, I was going to post a coffee chat and WIP yesterday explaining everything. And I was actually going to do a premiere on it. But whenever I went to save it, it was saying it was going to take 3 hours to save. So I waited about 20 minutes and seeing if it was going to take less time, and then nope. So I canceled it all out, redid all of my editing on it, and then went to save it again, and once again it was 3 hours. So I just went ahead and let it save, and finally it finished saving, and that's whenever I realized, whenever it popped up and showed me what folder it went to, that it was saving it in the wrong format. So I went back through, resaved it again, and it took like the 20 minutes it normally takes. That is, I am so glad that they found a heart for her. That is so scary, and I know I'm sending lots of prayers to her, Dari. So many prayers. I hope everything goes good and she has a very speedy recovery. That's amazing. But so all I can say is these last few weeks have been a big whirlwind for me. I'm doing a little bit better, And I was going to go and see my mom yesterday, but I started sneezing and getting the sniffles. And I didn't want to take anything down to her. So I ended up not seeing her yesterday, but I might stop by before I go to work today, at least for a few minutes. Hi, Lola. How are you doing? So glad that you're here. I don't think I saw you earlier. Well, thank you for being here. I do go live every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time, so you're welcome to stop by anytime. But yeah, she's doing better. She is on oxygen, which I don't completely understand that now. It seems like every time she goes to the hospital, whenever she comes out, there's a little bit more going on. But maybe with this last surgery, maybe it'll cause these infections to stay away a little bit easier. I'm not so sure that that's gonna happen, but I'm hoping. Okay, what color? I was working on this pound sign. I am working on my center one stitch Christmas painting in here. And I will say, after working on my Diamond Art Club mystery painting that I have going on in the living room, this one, I'm having a little bit of a harder time reading it. That is so true. I'm so happy for Dari. Hopefully everything goes well with that. But in my WIP and chat that I've got to schedule it to go out. I think I'm either going to schedule it for tomorrow or Monday. I'll tell y'all a little bit more in that about what went on, but we might discuss some of it here. But my camping trip on the Coffee Chat and WIP, you will see some of the little videos of the squirrels and stuff. I didn't quite get all of them because I couldn't find them. Since I have been back home, I have been very unorganized, which is why I've only got one camera set up today. I cannot find my tablet. I was almost late for my own live. It's just I don't have anything as organized as I would like today. But I will be going back to work today. I did take last weekend off to go and spend time up at the hospital with my mom. Do I have it in here? I don't have the cross stitch in here, but while I was up there, I was working on a cross stitch because it was easier to take with me. Nothing chased me. We did have a few hiccups while we went camping. It started off a little rough, but we ended up, it turned out to be okay. Hopefully we might get to go camping again in December if the weather isn't just really, really cold at that time. But anyway, we went up to Lake Dardanelle camping, which isn't too far from where I live. It's in Russellville. And whenever you put it in the GPS, and I knew this and I just didn't think about it, but there are two sides to the Lake Dardanelle State Park. One of them is on the Dardanelle side of the river, and the other one is on the Russellville side. Well, whenever we first put in the GPS to go there, and we were running late heading out anyway, because my daughter's phone broke. She was going to have our car, and I needed a way to get a hold of her and stuff to tell how long to charge it and all that. Well, anyway, so her phone broke. Josh went and got him a new phone and gave her his old phone. So they had to do that before we left, and then we finally get to leave about, I think it was about 3:30. Thinking that we would get up there about 4:30. Hi, Teresa. How are you doing? Well, the GPS takes us what I am assuming is the Dardanelle side of the state park. And on that side, the visitor center isn't there, nothing like that. So we couldn't really ask too much. So I had to call them. Hi, Pauline. How are you? So glad to see you here. So I called them from that campsite, and they gave me the correct address to get there. So it was like 20 minutes away from where we were at. So we turn around, we finally get to the right campground. And then these campsites look really good on the pictures that they show. But hi, Melanie. Glad to see you here. If I missed anybody, I'm so sorry, but welcome. So glad to have you. But anyway, we get there and they're really tight spaces to get into. So Josh is already getting frustrated about this. If things don't go the way that they're supposed to, he gets a little frustrated. Anyway, we get there, and luckily, one of the other campers kind of helped guide him into the space, because I'm not that great at directing people into a space. And I was so happy that there was somebody else there, especially in this tight spot. Well, whenever we set up, normally we have a little bit of space underneath the awning. That is so true. But anyway, we normally have a little bit of space underneath the awning to put our chairs and my table to diamond paint and all that. Well, at this campground, I did not have that space. They did have a nice flat area that was behind it and behind the trailer, and that's where the grill and the picnic table and all that were at. We have not had snow yet. Good morning, Wendy. How are you? I am not looking forward to the snow. I hate the cold, very much so. In fact, for these winter lives, I'm probably going to have to find another place to do my lives so that it stays warmer. Because this room, until I can get the windows replaced in it, it gets really, really cold. Anyway, we get it all set up and everything, and normally Josh always grill steaks on our first night camping. That is true, Melanie. But normally he always grills steak on our first night of camping. And it was already it was just starting to get like a dusky color outside. So it was almost dark by the time he got started. And with the way the campsite was, he couldn't maneuver his truck over there to shine his lights and stuff on the grill and everything. But so he starts cooking all the outside stuff. I go inside and start fixing everything, getting everything set up, taking the coffee maker out of the sink, all that. And he manages to get it cooked. He manages to get it cooked before it gets really, really dark outside. So we still got our steaks. That was a great thing. The next day, I have a canopy that I can set up. It's just a temporary canopy. I set that up in the back of the camper so that we would have a place to sit out there and I could diamond paint. Yeah, you've got to be able to diamond paint, Beth. In fact, I'm not doing much diamond painting today, but I might have to try that. I've got to figure out something in here because we haven't even got to the really cold weather yet. Hi, Connie. How are you? But yeah, it started out with a few hiccups, but in the end, it turned out to be okay. So we went camping, and then of course last week, y'all know what happened there. But I am so glad that I had that time camping before something else happened, because it was a very, very stressful week last week. But yeah, I was gonna put that up as a premiere on my coffee chat and WIP as a premiere yesterday, and it just did not work out. By the time I would have been able to go to set it up, it would have been like 9 o'clock at night my time. So I'm not sure how many people would have showed up to it, but that's okay. But I'm going to try to set it up Monday, I think, is whenever I will schedule it to go through. But I am so glad to see everybody here. I left my coffee in the other room. I can't believe I did that. So no coffee this morning for my coffee chat and WIP. But yeah, I have really been enjoying working on my Randall Spangler mystery painting. So in the coffee chat and WIP, that's the one that I'm working on. So if y'all don't want to see the way that one is turning out and everything, I would suggest blocking the video part of it or something like that. But that's the one that I'm working on in my coffee chat and WIP that'll go up Monday. What else has been going on? I'm probably going to have to make an appointment for Stardust at the vet next week. Um, I think she's having some kind of stomach issues. Hopefully it takes care of itself, but it's been lasting about 2 or 3 days, so gotta figure that out, because with her, I've never had to keep a litter box in the house. We always have the doggy door and she goes outside. And here recently, that's not happening. It's like she's not able to make it outside. So, yeah, I'm gonna probably end up having to make her an appointment with the vet. Yeah, while we were camping, it was supposed to rain the whole time, but it did not. Thank goodness it did not. It did sprinkle some. It waited until I got to the other campground that we normally go to rain a little bit more. But I didn't get to spend as much time at the campground whenever we were at that point, because we were closer to home and I had stuff that I had to do around the house. Y'all fixing to see that there's a little bit of a delay. I accidentally scooted my table and my little pin things fell down. Oops. Well, I hope everything goes well, Dari. Wish a speedy recovery. Oh, I did not even mention that. He is doing good. Um, he was 7 pounds when he was born. Um, like I said in the Coffee Chat and WIP, which y'all haven't seen yet, I'm not going to say his name on here because it's a little different. So I normally do not say the full name, and I want to talk to her about what to call him on my channel. But he is doing wonderfully. Mo is getting a little more used to him. At first, Mo was completely ignoring his little brother. I know that is so. I don't know what's wrong with her, because this is very out of the normal for her. Since she was a kitten, I have not ever had to keep a litter box in the house, which is wonderful whenever you have a cat. So, I'll probably go and see Mom for a few minutes before I go to work today, as long as I have time. Okay, so we got all those set back up there where they belong. I can't believe I did that. Y'all get to see a little bit of what things happen. Cats and flowers. Who is that one by? I've seen the Furry Forest Friends, but I have not heard of that other one. I do. I make a lot of time to go up there. I was going to go yesterday, but I started getting the sniffles, and she needs no more going on with her. But yeah, I will more than likely, even if it's just 10 minutes, stop by and see her today before I go in. Um, Here recently, every time I if anyone, I know none of y'all knew my mom before, but my mom loved her sweets. Absolutely loves her sweets. And here recently, I've taken her a few things and she's like, that's just too sweet. And they can barely get her to eat anything, but they can get her to drink her shakes, her nutrition shakes. So that's basically where she's getting most of her nutrition from, is the shakes. But I did go into a lot of that on my WIP and chat, which will be on Monday. I know I'm mentioning that too much, but yeah, I do go into that a little bit more on that and how frustrated it was at the hospital with them. But I know it's I I think that is the first time I've ever done that as far as knocking all of my pen holders down. I've got so many of those, but I will have to look at that one up, Teresa, and see what it looks like. I'm not sure about that one. I haven't seen it yet. But hopefully by next week, I will be able to get everything back on track. I know I did not post any videos this week. And I didn't post any last week, hardly at all either. So, but hopefully this next week, everything will be back on track. So are y'all doing anything for Thanksgiving, or y'all just staying at home? Um, I Healthcare these days, I don't understand why they don't try to make sure everything's going okay before they get back to their homes or the nursing home and stuff. It's like the day after she was released back to the nursing home, we had to go down there for a care meeting. I bet that is just so pretty. Um, but anyway, in that care meeting, we got a little off topic on this, but they were saying that they keep an eye on their charts and everything while they are at the hospital, because they can see the results and all that of their labs and everything. They have to keep an eye on it because sometimes they go in there and they try to release residents back to them that are still in critical condition. Oh, I am so sorry about that, Wendy. I I have really bad vision myself, but glasses do correct mine. Yeah, that stuff, I just don't understand why they rush people out of the hospital so quickly. And in my opinion, she was nowhere near ready to go home because they were still switching out the antibiotics, trying to figure out what was going to work best. Because whenever they do a culture, I believe it takes 2 to 3 days for it to show up what exactly that infection is. So I don't understand it at all. But yeah, Lexi was telling me whenever they brought the baby home from the hospital and Mo realized that he came home with them, he was just kind of just avoiding the baby at all costs. He would go somewhere else. He wasn't going anywhere near the baby. Well, she told me the other day, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, that whenever they were outside, because during the day it's heating up to be pretty nice outside, but during the night it gets really cold. Anyway, they were outside and he was sitting in his little carrier, and Mo noticed that the onesie was a little bit too big on him and his arm had slid down in it. So he goes over there, he pulls his arm out of the onesie, and then he pats him on the head a little bit and then walks off to do what he was doing. So he's getting a little bit more used to having his little brother around. I think once he gets a little older, they'll probably be good friends, being that close in age, but it'll take a little bit of time. But I am so glad everything went well with his birth and everything. Such an adorable little baby. I did show a picture of him on my WIP and chat. So I will definitely get more pictures, but a lot of the ones in the hospital are not ones that I'm going to show on my channel. It's been a rough few weeks though. I'm so glad that it's over with. Maybe things will be back to normal soon. But anyway, for Thanksgiving this year, I really don't know if we're going to have that many people show up, because Zach and his wife have not answered whether or not they're coming to Thanksgiving. And then Courtney won't know till the day before whether she works or not. And then Lexi with the new baby, she's not sure if she'll make it down here or if they're going to go to his family's this year, which I completely understand. And then Joshua, we had scheduled it at 2:00, but he has to work till 3. So it might just be me and Josh's mom and probably the grandkids at Thanksgiving this year. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out who all's going to be there and everything. But I am going to go, and they have a little Thanksgiving dinner for the residents where my mom is at. So I'm going to go up there and spend a little time with her around lunchtime before ours. So hopefully everything will be doing good at that point. But okay, can y'all still hear me okay? Because I'm a little ways away from the camera. And I don't have my microphone in today. I'm hoping that y'all can hear me okay. Okay, that's good. I have probably only placed like 10 drills on this. Let's see if we can do the R's. Where is it at? R. Maybe I won't knock my pen holders off this time. Yeah, the older I get, it seems like the more I would rather just have the smaller get-togethers. rather than a bunch of people, but I have a bunch of kids. We have 5 kids altogether, and then now there is 6 grandkids. Oops. I've noticed that my putty doesn't work as well whenever it's cold. And let's see. Oh, that is just awful. I I would not know how to deal with that. I saw that, Margie, and I was up there, but I was good. I didn't even go in the store because I knew I would come out with diamond paintings. So, hi, Autumn. How are you? So glad to see you here. Hi, Mama. So glad that you stopped by. Yes, that is absolutely terrible. I would not know what to do with that in that situation, especially around the holidays. Yeah, it's a bit chilly here. It's warming up though. Whenever I first came in my craft room this morning, I was absolutely freezing. As you can tell, I am wearing my hoodie, and this is a pretty thick hoodie. This is a pretty thick hoodie, so it does keep me a little warmer, but I can tell it's actually warming up in here a little bit. I know I want to go on their website. I want to go to their store, but I'm like, I don't need to. I've got so many diamond paintings right now. But I am going to have to go up to Fort Smith next week, so I'll probably end up stopping by there, especially since one of the places that I have to go to is right next to Joanne's. Thank you, Autumn. This is actually a center one painting from Timu. I have to be very careful about it. As you can tell, I'm not diamond painting too quick today. But normally I don't wear long sleeves either whenever I'm diamond painting. But in here it's a bit too chilly. I I need to dig out my little heater for in here and try to get that going so that it stays a little bit warmer in here anyway. But on the plus side, our heater for the house is actually working, which I was beginning to think on Friday that we were not going to have any heat for the whole weekend because we had the AC, the heating and air people here, and it was for a little bit, he couldn't get the heater to come back on. But at least it did what it's been doing to us here recently so they could actually see it. So maybe we might get it fixed under warranty. We're hoping so because this heating and air unit is less than 5 years old. But the heat just does not make it into this room all that easily. Okay. I put some cheap wax in my pen instead of the Diamond Art Club wax or the purple wax. And I can definitely tell the difference because it leaves little residue all over my drills with this pen. So be happy once I get all of that used up in this pen. Eventually I'm going to order some of those really nice looking twist and pick pens from Diamond Art Club. They're pens. I'm going to try to stay away from the diamond paintings. I know that isn't going to happen, but I'm going to try. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 diamond paintings over there that I need to unbox because I haven't got them unboxed yet. So that'll be coming up soon. Hopefully I can get a couple of them done next week. And then I'll probably start going through my Diamond Art Club stash on here. Just not sure how I'm going to do that. I probably will not show the drills or anything. I'll probably just show the paintings. But I've got quite a few and I want to get a lot of my older paintings done. So we will look at that soon. I love these trays. I still want to try the cat-eared trays, the Trabricks, but I still very much love my butterfly trays. Okay, let's see. G, which is $7.99. We got a bluish color here. But whenever my WIP and check comes out, it'll go into more detail about what went on this week. I have not worked on this painting since before I left to go camping. This is the first time I've worked on it in a while. I have been so stuck on my mystery painting from Diamond Art Club that I've been working on in the living room, but on Saturdays, Josh is home and all that, so I can't do my lives in there. I'm the type of person that cannot record in front of other people. Not very easily, anyway. Oops. I'm losing my hair. I'm shedding. So, I'm either going to figure out a way to get this room a little bit warmer, or I'm going to figure out a different place to do my lives. But I will figure it out. And hopefully I'll have everything set back up the way I like next week. So we actually have a second camera going and all of that. Okay, let's see. W's. Where's my W? Eventually, I'm going to talk Randy into coming on one of the lives. Or Connie. Connie, have you ever gotten your channel up and started yet? I have not seen any yet, but be sure to let me know if you do. I've been a little. I know in my last coffee chat and WIP, I didn't put the pet parade because I was trying to get I'm sitting here trying to put these on C's and it's W's. But I will start that up, and I meant to tell Dari while she was in here that I have not missed her email with her little fur baby, and I will add that one to the parade on my next coffee chat and WIP. But Autumn, I have been watching some of your WIP and chats. I haven't got to comment as much. I believe it was the last one that I watched was the WIP and chat. I have not watched your unboxing of your Donna. I cannot think of the last name, but I haven't watched the unboxing of those yet. I will be watching that tonight at work, hopefully. Once it gets past a certain time, once we get all of our appointments in, I have a little bit more time where I can watch some of the videos, so I do that. But normally, whenever I'm watching them, I don't get to comment too much while I'm at work. I try, but it never fails. I have somebody walk in right as I'm about to. So let's see. I might be able to finish up this little section today. Let's see. I will be better prepared next week. I will definitely be better prepared for my live next week. With everything, I cannot even find my tablet. I think I misplaced my tablet more than anybody. I am always misplacing my tablet. And I think it might still be in the camper. I will definitely have to check out there. Let's see. We'll do a beat. So, Granny, have you tried have you been using your cat-eared trays, the Trabricks, or for any of your special shaped ones? Do I don't even have my big tray here. I am completely lost today. I know those ones don't have the spout or anything on those, but what I do whenever I go to empty these is I've got a huge big tray. I just dump them out into that, and then I pour them into whatever I need to pour them into. These work great for all of the confetti and stuff. There's one. This has a lot of confetti in the gingerbread guys right here. I love one of my favorite Disney characters is my Stitch. I have so much Stitch stuff. Let's see. Did I miss any? Yep, one down there. I'm sure I missed more of them, but we'll find them here in a few minutes. I will probably did I miss something here? No. Okay. So for Thanksgiving, I'm not completely sure how all that is going to go, but maybe we might have some more people there. We will see. Where is this one at? Right here. Now this one, no, this one isn't an AB. I thought this one was an AB, but it's not. It is still really shiny though. And there's actually quite a few of this one on here. I am trying to get a few of my Christmas paintings done so I'll be able to display them. And I've got something else that I am working on a little bit, but I doubt it'll be done before Christmas, so we will see. But hopefully next week I will have a completion on my mystery painting, because I've got less than a 40 by 30 by 40 section left to do on it. Hopefully everything, I get to work on it a lot more and get it done. Did I get all of these? I think I did. If not, I will find them soon. So anyway, I know it's a little early, but I'm going to try to go and see my mom before I go to work today a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and end this about 5 minutes early. I am so glad that y'all all stopped by. Absolutely enjoyed everyone being here today. I hope y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If I don't hear from you before then, everyone take care, and I will see y'all next week. Bye, everyone. I wonder if is I don't understand this. Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me. But for some reason, I don't know why, it seems like my chat. Oh, okay. Let's turn this around so I can actually. I think my chat froze on my other painting, so I am so sorry if I did not answer all of y'all. I think it froze on the one. I will definitely give my mom a hug from you, Granny. Okay. I was wondering why the chat stopped on there, but that's why. It's because my chat froze on my phone. But everyone have a great weekend, and I will see y'all next week. And I'm sorry if I didn't read your comment or get to it. I was not ignoring you, I promise. So everyone take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.